Morning lovelies, how are you all today? This is a slightly different position, isn't it? Under sink cupboard, and I'm just getting out the last bits and pieces. Oh my goodness. Oh, Gordon Bennett, gonna start off with a cry. It's me Werther's original. Has it got a sell by, used by? Okay, so I must have got it in 2002. Obviously I had the butter toffees. Christmas 2002, I think it was a present. But I kept it. There's crumbs in there, for goodness sakes. That'll get a wash. That was where I used to keep Charlotte Bronte's treats. Can't bear to part with it. I will keep it, give it a wash, and give it another use. Oh my goodness. They're right at the back. You can tell they're things I don't use. Tins of Brasso and Silvo. I don't know how long these things last either, how long they keep their... Oh, such a distinct smell, isn't it? Whew. How long they keep their moistness or whatever. But I absolutely adore the iconography of these tins. Oh, beautiful, aren't they? The reason I'm doing this... Empty jam jars. Now, these aren't the empty jam jars I use for storing food. They're in a completely different box, also because they don't have lids. These are jam jars I use for if I'm decorating, if I want to stand a brush in them. And last, oh my goodness. Well, that's weird. I know where it's come from. A roll of cling film. I think this whole process is going to be a bit dusty and make me cough, but a roll of cling film. It came from Auntie Teapot's house when I was clearing it out, because the vast majority of her things went to various charities. I can't give an opened thing of cling film to a charity. There were a couple of other things. Freezer bags, little plastic freezer bags, and it's in one of the other boxes because they've taken it out already. A roll of J-cloths, I think they're called. I don't know what you call them, but it's like, they're almost like fabric. It's disposable kind of wiping cloths, which again, I don't use, but I've got an idea for them. And yeah, so I can't bear waste. It would have just gone in the bin. So I grabbed it, but, well, it's right in the back of a cupboard that's right on the floor. Anyway, back to the reason I'm doing this, of course, today, this specifically, right, get the shelf out, is I've got to remove this. There's two little, it's the shelving, like I'm sure you have in your kitchen cupboards. It's got all the, you know, the little, you can see there, can't you, the holes down the side. And then these are precious. I'm going to put them in Charlotte Bronte's treats jar so I don't lose them. That needs to be washed. Yeah, just get this shelf out because the washing machine is coming today. The reason I do fingers crossed is because in my experience with deliveries and things like that, there can so easily be a problem. And the shelf is grubby, look, there's splash marks. So, this will all get, I'll give this all a really thorough clean out. So yeah, ostensibly it's for the freezer coming in. The freezer lives next door. But obviously they need access to all the plumbing bits. I don't know how easy it's going to be to access. Oh, well, anyway. But of course, in prepping to sell, I'm going to be emptying the kitchen anyway and giving everything a really, really thorough clean. But first of all, let's get this lot boxed up and out of the kitchen. It's kind of amazed me that I filled two big boxes from under the sink already. I can't believe how much I've packed under there. I mean, it's all the usual stuff, I'm sure that, you know, we all have. It's our sort of cleaning bits and the iron, and now here come all the tea towels. Tea towels and cleaning cloths. This box might not be big enough. just stuff, shoe cleaning kit. I don't really wear shoes these days very much, so I'm not going to get rid of my shoe cleaning kit though, because, you know, I want clean shoes. I suppose this is going to be, pop that down there now. This is going to be the story of my life now, isn't it, in the coming months. Light bulbs, all the different types of light bulbs. Most of the lighting I've got, so the kitchen and living room, it's recessed. Actually, it's in the bathroom as well. The kitchen and the living room take one type of bulb. The bathroom takes another. It's because they're kind of sealed units, because it's, you know, bathroom, water, electrics. But then my lamp, my leading lamp, takes another kind of bulb. This ain't all gonna fit. Mop head, spare mop head, came with the mop. Ivy. Now obviously, I'm just saying that this is going to be the story of my life in the next few months. This isn't all going to stay packed because, well, literally as soon as the washing machine's in, this is all going to come out and go back in the cupboard, because I'm not going to live out of... Oh, I've put something on... I've just noticed I put something on the counter, and it's left a ring. That I'm going to leave out because it's got the little doobries in it. Yeah, I'm not going to live out of boxes for the next few months. That would be bonkers. But yeah, it's given me a clue already of like, well, for the undersink cupboard I need 3 boxes. At what point do I start saving boxes? Because for this whole flat there are going to be hundreds of them. I don't know, never mind. Right, get a wriggle on. There's a lot to do this morning before they come. Going to get some of the furniture out as well, a couple of items just to give them space. Where shall I put that? I'm going to put that, I don't know, right. I need to make space in the other room first. Over here. Now, so these boxes are not going to stay packed. These boxes are going to go back into the kitchen, but the rest of the stuff that I'm moving out today is going to be staying in this living room for a couple of weeks or so. So I need to be a bit canny and careful how I organise things. Right, so before I take anything out of there, I need to move bits in here. So the sewing machine is going to be set aside for a while. Well, for now, because this table is going to be even more multi-purpose than normal. So this is going to have my computer on it for now. That's some more stock to photograph. So set it inside the window for the minute. That is Joan Rest said I'm going to send that to someone, the penguin lessons. So I need to make up a little parcel for it, but I want to put a letter in with it. So with this table, right, I need a wider angle camera. That's going to come right over there. Tuck my thread basket underneath it, and now momentarily, yeah, oh, ow, computer, the computer, I don't even make out. I keep my computer on a cookie baking what do you call it, rack? A drying rack? Is it a cooling rack? Not a drying rack, a cooling rack. Just to helps the air circulate underneath. Okay, all my desk stuff. Hold on, this is a bit tricky because it's all out of shot, isn't it? Hang on a sec. I want to show you something that's so cute. I had a crazy busy run around day yesterday, which actually knackered my knees. My knees are feeling a bit angry today, but never mind. But also, last night I thought I was dying for a bath, and I thought there's no point. Don't waste a bath tonight, as in last night, because today is going to be messy and harumpy-pumpy, so excuse my bedraggled look. But I have this on my desk. It's actually, it's full of my push pins for my pin board. You see what it says? Lol with Cove, isn't that lovely? I can't remember what this stuff is called, blueware or something. It's these kind of souvenir holiday items that all over the UK, but every now and again I see a bit that's from sort of my grandparents' hood, so I grab it. That hoodie on the radiator, it's not wet, it's not drying, it's there to remind me, because it's next to the sewing machine, that I jammed my fists into my pocket the other day walking down the road because it was cold, and in doing so I tore the edge of the pocket. Oh. Okay, pin board. Where am I going to put my pin board? I don't want to put it on top, I could put it on top of the rad, I suppose, but I don't want to because I don't want it to scratch the paintwork, because I'm absolutely not touching the paintwork in the living room. I will, of course, have a really thorough clean at some point. I mean, my cleaning my cleaning goes as far as you can see. So, for example, the shelves need a good clean. That's going to happen in another video. I'm going to show you how I clean my books. But things like the skirting board behind the bed, to put that bed weighs a ton. It's an ancient iron bed frame. To pull it out and then do the but that is going to have to happen at some point. Now, the kitchen table. Can I do it without removing the printer? Oh, I'm too fat to get me and a table through the door at the same time. The great thing with this table is, oh, that's the printer cable, isn't it? I will demonstrate here. Is this beautiful, it's French, little French 1920s dusty table. And one of the reasons I bought it, it wasn't cheap. It's back in the days when I was working, but one of the reasons I bought it, I love it because first it's got a little shelf below. That was really handy when I first moved it, you know, pots and pans and things. But the reason I love it is because it has 2 extra leaves, which are so easy to bring out. You know, it's not like some leaf tables, you've got to store the leaf somewhere else. So suddenly it's almost double the size, and I can just about fit 4 people around it to eat. So it's always the perfect option for my kitchen, because when the leaves are away in the kitchen, there's hardly any space taken up, and then when I'm using it as my desk, I've got the computer on it, I pull this extra leaf out, and that's just enough space as a desk. And then when I've finished at the end of my day, tuck it away, put the chair around this side, and again it leaves me loads of space in the kitchen. God, this is dusty, right on the back. So what I'm going to do with it for now is I'm going to smudge it up next to this one. Oh. Ow. I'm definitely not as strong as I used to be. And then this will do for today, but then next week, as I empty the kitchen, so like all the shelves on the wall with my plates and bits and pieces, they need somewhere to go. What I can do is I can open the table up again, use the top of it for putting all the bits and pieces from my shelves, anything that's on any surfaces, so that I've still got access to all my plates and bits whilst I'm renovating the kitchen. Yeah, it's that thing, isn't it, of, especially if you live in a small home, if you do any kind of, you know, decorating, renovating, whatever it is, and you're bringing stuff from one room into another room, and if it's not going to be a job that you finish in a day or 2 days, just plan a little bit forward and think, okay, if it's going to be out here for 2 weeks, how am I still going to be able to function? Right, now the next job, let's get back in the kitchen for the next job. This room, the kitchen, has never been a particularly easy room to film in. As you can see, because of the window it's always so bright, I end up backlit, never mind. So this is the freezer I'm going to get rid of. I cleaned it, it's already dusty. Oh my, look, ignore any, if you see any dust today, please ignore it. I'm throwing, look, I'm sure everybody has dust in their home somewhere that they haven't been for a few days. So anyway, yeah, this, got my camera, by the way, this is my camera holder. It's an old jiffy bag. I mean, I'm always saying to myself, it's just my little cheapy digital camera, but I get nice photos from it. And I'm always saying to myself, I must make like a little padded quilted bag for it. I never get round to it, it ends up staying in the jiffy bag. Just remembered something else. When I was over here and I said, oh, something I've taken out has left a ring on the, it's butcher's block counter. It's this beautiful oak. I'm going to show you, when I get round to actually refurbing the kitchen, I'll show you how to basically take a butcher's block which has had a lot of use and bring it back to pretty much like new. We'll do that. I will do a completely separate video on that. It'll be in a couple of weeks' time or so once I actually start to do the refurb. So yeah, I've got, there's a massive one here from my cast iron pan lid that I've put down. I don't put them down normally, I don't know what made me do it that day. And I've obviously gone to bed after my supper, not washed up. Next morning picked it up, oh, big ring, but it's fixable. Now, the other thing with the fridge, I've got one of my old dog towels. I thought, oh, there is a bit of a scratch on the top, that's annoying. People may say, oh, don't get rid of it, Vivi, because you can use it in your next place. Look, a couple of things. One, it's in the way in terms of me showing this flat to its best. It is in the way and it makes the kitchen look tiny and dreadful. So getting rid of it is a small price to pay to make the kitchen look better. It cost me about, it was dirt cheap, it was about 100 quid, it's in Curry's really basic range, whatever it is. And literally within the first year, this lighting's fabulous. Should we swap sides and see if we can make it better? Well, that's considerably better, isn't it? Yeah, it was about 100 quid, so it was really, really cheap as far as freezers go. But the fact is, even within that first year of me having it, I mean, it pretty much paid for itself in the first month. I think I've had it 3 years, I'm not sure, 4 years maybe. But in the course of that time, I have been able, because of the extra space, to store even more of my produce. Hundreds of pounds of produce. So it has, like I said, it's more than paid for itself. It has been fantastic. And I will look when I move into, obviously freezer space is going to be one of the things I think about when I move. Obviously I don't know, because it's that thing I was saying the other day, it's like trying to plan for something that you've got no idea about. So I might end up in a kitchen that's even smaller than this kitchen. I might end up in a home with an old pantry that's still attached, and it's a case of, well, do I want to knock it through? Do I want to, you know? So I don't know, but this one's going. So I'm going to take a few pictures of it. And I thought if I take the pictures in the kitchen, it might make more sense to people than if I took the pictures in the living room. So because even though it's going on to Free Cycle, or the local equivalent in terms of our Facebook freebie stuff, even though it's doing that, let me demonstrate that that's a flop down, that's hinged, and that's a drawer, and that's clean. Yeah, even though I'm giving it away free, I want to show folk what it's like, that it's clean, the sort of size, because, and let's have just one more. There have been a couple of times when I've gone to, locally, I've gone to someone who's offered something for free, and there's been one picture, but it's kind of hidden, and I've turned up at the place to say, yes, can I have that thing? And then you turn up, and actually when you see it in real life, it's something that's broken, it's filthy, it's just rubbish, it's someone's rubbish that really ought to have gone to recycling rather than, you know, free cycling. So let's take a picture of that scratch on the top. Let me show that it's on the top. Oops, camera can't focus because it's just a whole great puddle of white. Yeah, because I wouldn't want someone to turn up here, especially because of the stairs, get all the way here with a van possibly, and go, oh no, it's useless. So I will also be describing the dimensions. Now I have had a tea towel in the hinge of the door, just propping it open so it doesn't get that horrible funky smell inside. But to move it, I'm just going to close it for a minute. Now, empty, it's not that heavy. And once upon a time, I wouldn't have thought twice about just picking it up and moving it. However, I don't trust my knees. So my little trick, I thought I'd share it with you, I'm sure you'll do it too, is the old dog towel. Just make sure, yeah, that is its plug. I was just going to say, I'll make sure it's unplugged before I pull it away. Of course it's unplugged, you flipping nincompoop. If it wasn't unplugged, it'd still be freezing. I need a holiday. Yeah, I'm just going to gently, only very gently. The thing with fridges and freezers, because of the coolant and all that kind of gubbins, you want to keep them upright, as upright as possible. So, excuse me, docking down a sec, just tuck that towel through. Right, now that the doggy towel is underneath, the dust, I can slide it, wiggle it, pull it. It's just a bit easier on the towel. Pushing is actually easier. Look, see, dead easy. And if you've got wooden floors, of course, it helps to stop the floor scratching. I would say though that if it weighed a real ton, firstly, try and get some help to move it. But also, maybe don't rely on the towel completely to avoid scratches. But this is the good bit, is when I get to the lip of the door, I'm just pulling at the towel. hell, brilliant. And now to find somewhere to put this until it gets taken. I'm going to give you this view again of the kitchen. It's always hard because of the light, but you'll see suddenly how actually the kitchen is quite spacey. Well, it's spacey for, you know, any London flat, but particularly for a studio flat. This kitchen is twice the size of some of my friends' kitchens. So come on, we'll have a little reversey look, and then we'll have a sit down. Oh, it's going to be so echoey in here now. But look, suddenly space, tons of space. I wish I could I want to stand in the middle and dance and twirl and demonstrate. But yeah, so with that freezer gone, and then obviously when I put the kitchen back together, I'll put the table back in, but it will just be the table. That freezer won't be there, and you can see how this is also. I mean, it's the kind of psychology of how we see things and how, you know, some people aren't able to, in their mind's eye, remove an object. So someone's just going to see that there and think, firstly, this kitchen is too small for a freezer, so they've had to buy a freezer. Well, actually, that in there is a freezer, and that was perfectly adequate when I wasn't trying to be self-sufficient or self-reliant. So that's one thing, it suggests that the kitchen is too small. Secondly, visually, it's a real block to the window. So when that's out of the way, and I've got my small drawers behind, this visual trickery thing is, if the eye, even though obviously the space under the eaves is really tiny, I normally have a basket there, and what I will do for when I come to display the flat for selling, show the flat I mean, is I will put a basket under that, and I'll put some lovely fresh veggies in it. It's that kind of lifestyle thing, isn't it? But also by being able to see the entire floor space right to the eaves, in the mind, it makes the kitchen feel like a bigger kitchen, because it is a really decent sized kitchen. I mean, this width from here to here is, I can't remember now, it's like 2.5 meters. So you can see where I've been look where I've been taking things down from the walls. Oh, the grubby marks, the grubby marks. There's another, you know, super grubby mark there, and even where I took my Frida down. You see, now, I was talking about paint the other day and saying I'll talk about paint colour. I can't remember what this colour was called, can't remember where I got it from, but I don't have any left. What I'm going to do with the whole kitchen is I'm just going to paint it all white. Now, there's two reasons for that. Excuse me, sorry. One, I'm really rubbish at cutting in. I had a friend cut that in for me. So I'm really rubbish at cutting in, and there's nothing worse when you're looking at property than seeing a really, well, there's loads of things worse, but it's one of the horrible things is to see a really bad paint job. Because when you look around you think, well, the first thing I'm going to have to do when I move in is paint everywhere again. So unless you are a confident painter, either get help with it or just don't do it. Just don't make more of a mess. So that's one thing. Also, the fact is, white paint is cheaper, much cheaper. So going with white, I can do it quite cheaply. I'm also going to need a bit of white paint for, I might be touching up in the bathroom, the hallway ceiling, that sort of thing, and it's all white. So yeah, I'm going to stick with white. And then what I'm going to do, where the table will be here, I'm going to put a really big, large, colourful piece of art on this wall. It's a very contemporary piece, just to give it that kind of, oh yes, this is a London loft vibe. Because, oh sorry, my floor is squeaking, because that's what it is. But there's going to be lots of work to do. You know, take everything out, get all the surfaces cleaned first of all. The butcher's block I'm going to completely recondition. The floor I'm going to strip back to the original beach. obviously this freezer eventually is going to come out completely as well for selling. Obviously it's going to stay there for now because it's about 2/3 full. That one, I'm not sure yet whether I'll give it away or whether I'll try and store it somehow. I don't know. It's just this thing about storage and the cost of it, and I just think, you know, and I don't mean this in a sort of ungrateful, throwaway, profligate way. You know by now, you know me, I do not chuck money around. I'm not wasteful with money. And there are moments in life where you just have to make these decisions about, if that's going to put someone off buying my flat because it makes the kitchen look small, then just get rid of it because it's not worth it. And yes, that one was a bit more expensive. I think it was about 150 quid. I've had this one about 6 or 7 years now. And again, it's more than paid for itself in my sort of self-reliant life so far. So yeah, I don't think I'm being profligate to think about getting rid of it. It's all about getting the best price for this flat, and more than anything, just not putting anyone off, not giving them anything to argue about. Just get the gaff sold. Coming back out. So yeah, you can see, I mean, obviously I didn't sort of tuck us behind the door because obviously there's the oven and there's more cupboards. So yeah, it's 4.5 meters that way, 2.5 meters wide. It ain't a small kitchen, so let's stop it from looking like a small kitchen. I'll be sad to see the green go. I've enjoyed that little pop of colour. But yeah, going it is. Right, I need a bit of a sit down. Ah, that's better. A little bit of a sit down. You know, it hasn't been too much faff, really. But there's about my delivery slot. There's a 4-hour window. No, my luck, the way my slots always seem to go, it'll be right at the end of that 4 hours. So what I'm going to do now is I'll have to have an extension lead. I don't have a socket over there, but I'm just going to set my computer up and I'm going to get on with some work on the computer until they get here. If I finish doing that work before they get here, I could set up to do some sewing. I won't. That would be mad because that'll be more space. What I will do instead is bring you around here. Oh, panic, too fast. A little bit flushed face. Yeah, if I get done on my computer work before they get here, I've got that new stock. I've got some gorgeous new bits, so I can make the most. It's a really bright day. It's sod's law, isn't it, that it's a really bright day on the day that I'm going to be stuck indoors again. But I'll make the most of that light, get the stock photographed, and again, that's something I can do while I'm sitting at the table. I'm just going to lean on my arm like that. I don't know about you, but I never like it when I've got workmen or workwomen in the flat. It's impossible to relax, isn't it? So obviously he or they or whatever will get on with things in the kitchen. I'll leave them to it, but I won't be able to relax in here properly. So I need to think of things I can do that are productive with my time whilst they're getting on with things. So I'm not just sitting here twiddling my thumbs because I'll drive myself crazy. Anyway, I'm not going to say cheerio quite yet. I'll wait until the new machine is in, give you a quick flash, and then we'll wrap things up. Oh, fingers crossed it all goes okay today. See you in a bit. Oh, I'm going to explode. My washing machine delivery chap turned up. I opened the front door. I said, hello, yay, you're here. I'm really quite early into my time slot. He looked over my shoulder and went, oh, you've got stairs. Have you got a lift? And I said, no, it's an old building. And he said, oh, can't do stairs. I'm on my own. I said, have you not got one of those wheelie things? I'll give you a hand, whatever. And he went, oh, hang on, let me have a look. So he came up the stairs and he went, yeah, can't get a freezer up there. Not a freezer, what am I talking about? Can't get a washing machine up there. And I was like, what are you talking about? My previous washing machine, all the stuff in the kitchen, fridges, freezers, my bathroom, everything has been delivered up here. Anyway, yeah, he was saying, oh, no, you should have mentioned that you don't have a lift. And I said, I wasn't asked. And he went, And he was really nice, by the way. I'm not having a go at him, but he checked the online thing and he went, you're right, they don't actually ask. When you do an online order, they don't ask about, in terms of the delivery, are there stairs, is there a lift? And he sort of hummed and hawed, and I said, look, for goodness sakes, I will carry it up with you. I need a washing machine. And, you know, this whole day is about the washing machine. I don't want to waste a whole day. Anyway, he was humming and hawing, and he's saying, I wonder if there's anyone, you know, a colleague in the area who could give me a hand. He said, look, I'm going to go and call the office. His van was parked up the road a ways. He said, let me go and look at paperwork, call the office, see what we can do. So he went, and I said, shall I just wait here? I'm at the front door on the street. And he said, no, I'll be 5 minutes. So I came back up here. Anyway, it's an hour and a half later, and I haven't heard back. I haven't heard anything, so I don't want to cry. Yeah. Anyway, in the meantime, I've been online to another company. It's like a massive company in the UK, electrical goods retailer and deliverer. I don't know that they even have shops. I think it's all online. I went straight to the delivery section to look at frequently asked questions. And I saw, do you deliver with steps? Brilliant, look at that. And it's just really annoying because it says that, you know, once you've placed your order, so you have to place your order first, please tell us how many steps there are. It will be at the discretion of the delivery team. It's always a two-man team, apparently. It will be at the discretion of the delivery team as to whether they will do the stairs. I mean, that's no help to anyone, is it? So what if I do the order and I have the same situation again? A delivery team turn up and go, ooh, can't do the stairs, ooh, can't do that, it's more than our job's worth. I mean, surely, I mean, maybe some of you know, is there a company that anyone knows of that will deliver items up some stairs? Because I am not the only person who lives in a flat upstairs in a building that has no lift. It must be possible. But anyway, for now, I don't have a washing machine. I'm back to square one. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to rethink things. Maybe not replace the washing machine. Maybe look at the whole going to the laundrette deal. It's just really, really disappointing and frustrating. And just annoying. I think people are a bit wet these days. Do a bit of blooming work. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of today's video. So nothing has happened except, well, at least I've emptied the kitchen a bit. I've started that process, and then next week I can finish emptying it, start cleaning, start decorating, and in the meantime, just think about, that's the washing machine police. Yeah, I don't want to waste today completely. I think I'm going to go up the road to the laundrette and see how much a wash is. And it would just be a case of having to plan things around it. So if there's a wash, if I'm sitting there with my wash on, what work can I do in my lap? I'm not going to take sewing. I mean, I'm going to have all my laundry to take, but I could take maybe a notebook, do some writing. I don't know. How annoying, hey? Never mind. Worst things happen at sea. So I'm going to say cheerio for now. And hopefully when I next see you, I'll have better news. So until then, keep your fingers crossed, everyone. Yeah, take care of yourselves. I will try to take care of myself today and not go absolutely mental and throw myself off all the walls. What can you do? All right, lovelies. For now, cheerio. Hey, lovelies. Super quick PS. It's the next morning. Oh crikey, I feel ropey. I'm not feeling good today at all. I think just it's been a bit of a stressful few weeks, and it's anyway. Late yesterday, after I'd finished videoing, editing, etc, etc, I got a text. Yay! There's hope yet. It was a bit a brief text. It just said your order will be delivered this weekend. It's not giving me a time slot. I think their time slot is 8 AM till 8 PM. I don't care. So it looks like, oh, really cross those fingers, they've rearranged the delivery, and I hope what that means is they've rearranged it for a 2-person delivery team. We can but hope. I want to be relieved. I won't be relieved until it's in, but for now I feel relieved. And I'm gonna, I think I'm going back to bed. I feel so rough, but I don't care, so long as that blooming washing machine comes and that it wasn't all a waste of time. So, yeah, super quick update. And now I really will say, cheerio.